My phone buzzed at 8:43 p.m. last Friday. It was a short message in the family group chat. Just one line from my little brother. Don't come to the BBQ this weekend. My wife says you ruined the vibe. That was it. No explanation. No context. Not even a joke emoji. Mom reacted with a laughing face. Dad reacted with a heart, as if someone had shared a cute meme. I stared at the screen for a moment, feeling the familiar sting settle in my chest. Then I typed 2 words. Noted, thanks. I powered off my phone and placed it face down, beside a stack of documents I was reviewing. 5 contracts worth more than my parents' entire neighborhood combined. My name is Palmer Whitlock, 35 years old, Executive Vice President of Engineering at Novigan Medical Technologies in Raleigh, North Carolina. We're about to roll out a device projected to disrupt the medical diagnostics market, valued at over $9.8 billion in the first 2 years alone. But my family? To them, I'm still the awkward, quiet sister, the one who stayed in labs instead of going to parties, the one who was always too serious, the one they assumed lived paycheck to paycheck. They never bothered to ask. And when people tell me I'm not wanted, I don't chase. I don't explain. I don't defend. I let reality speak for me. If you've ever been treated like the family embarrassment, or made to feel small by the people who should have protected you, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, because you're not going to want to miss what happened the very next morning, when she screamed so loudly the entire office floor heard her. Chapter 1, The Arrival. Saturday, 9:17 a.m. I was in the office signing the final stage of FDA clearance documents when my assistant, Blair, buzzed through the intercom. Palmer, there's a woman downstairs who insists she needs to speak to whoever runs Angel Investments. She won't give her name. Says it's urgent. Her husband is with her. I didn't know who it could possibly be, but something in Blair's voice felt uncomfortable. Send them up, I said. A minute and 53 seconds later, the glass doors slid open. And there she was. Tegan, my brother's wife. A bright red designer bodycon dress, sunglasses perched dramatically in her hair, walking like she was entering a reality TV set. Behind her walked Gage, hands stuffed in his pockets, avoiding eye contact like a scolded child. They froze the moment they saw me sitting behind the desk. The sunglasses slipped right out of Tegan's fingers and hit the marble with a crack. Palmer? Her voice strangled. Her eyes went from my face to the polished brass nameplate with my title, to the giant Norwegian Technologies logo behind me. You work here? Gage blinked rapidly, jaw dropped. This is your office? I leaned back in my chair calmly. Executive Vice President, Engineering, what are you doing here? Instant transformation, shock, fake excitement, manipulative sweetness. Tegan slapped a glossy pitch deck onto my desk like she was laying down winning cards. This is perfect! I'm raising capital for my diagnostics startup. Next-gen point-of-care testing. Total game changer. We need $2 million to finalize approval. You can literally fund us today. Gage nodded aggressively. Come on, sis. It's a sure win. Family helps family. I didn't even touch the deck. You came to my office, uninvited, on a holiday weekend, to ask for $2 million? She didn't blink. Exactly. Blood is thicker than water. I looked her dead in the eye. No. The smile evaporated instantly. What do you mean, no? Her voice climbed. You're seriously telling your own brother no? Gage stepped forward. Palmer, are you insane? This could change everything. Leave, I said quietly. Now. The entire open-floor workspace outside went silent. Engineers stared at their screens like statues. Tegan's face turned the same red as her dress. Oh, I get it. You think you're too good for us? Sitting up here in your fancy tower, making millions. And you can't spare a dime for your own family? She turned to the glass wall and shouted loud enough for everyone to hear. This is why nobody wants her around. She's jealous and pathetic. Security was already moving. 2 guards appeared at the door. Ma'am, you need to leave now. She whipped around. Do you know who she is? That's her brother. Gage grabbed her wrist. Tegan, stop. She jerked away. No, she doesn't get to treat us like trash. The guards escorted them toward the elevator as she screamed threats about lawsuits and regret. The doors closed. Silence returned. Blair stepped in, raised an eyebrow. Your brother's wife is a unique species. I opened the pitch deck, saw the cover page. Tegan Ashford, CEO and founder. Gage's name wasn't anywhere. I fed the entire deck into the shredder. Watched the ribbons curl. Then my phone lit up. Call from Gage. Once, twice, 3 times, 4. I picked up on the 5th. Do you have any idea how humiliated Tegan is right now? Silence from me. You couldn't give us 5 minutes? You had to call security? You're heartless, Palmer. You always have been. I took a slow sip of coffee. Are you done? He hung up. 10 minutes later, texts poured in. Manipulation, rage, guilt, blame. I ignored them all. Then a notification banner appeared. Pre-approval alert, $480,000 personal loan. Primary borrower, Gage Whitlock. Co-signer, Palmer Whitlock. Secondary borrower, Tegan Ashford Whitlock. They had filed a massive loan using my social security number, old documents from my parents' house, and my public salary records. They tried to steal nearly $500,000. I called Wells Fargo's fraud manager. Kill it, hard denial. Fraud flag. Freeze everything. Done. Confirmation arrived 4 minutes later. I forwarded the fraud filing to Gage. No message. The phone rang instantly. I declined. Tegan called next. You think you're clever? Blocking our loan? It's called family support. You make millions. 400,000 is nothing to you. You forged my signature. Laughter, cold, sharp. Oh, please. Stop playing the victim. By tomorrow, everyone will know who you really are. Start with how you attempted identity theft, I said. Dead silence. You'll regret this, she hissed. Click. Ha! Chapter 2. The truth surfaces. That night, a package appeared at my door. Thick brown envelope, no label. Inside was a 42-page private investigation report about Tegan, paid for by my father. Years of financial destruction. Previous marriage ruined by debt and manipulation. Credit card scams. Loans in other people's names. Fake business proposals. Social media lies. He left a handwritten note. I didn't know how to tell you. Please handle it. I'm sorry. I read every page twice, and for the first time in a long time, I felt calm. Tomorrow was Sunday. The BBQ was in 24 hours, and I already knew exactly how this was going to end. Ha! Chapter 3, The Showdown. Sunday, 10:30 p.m. I drove to the house where Gage and Tegan live. The house I bought 3 years ago. The house still legally in my name only. I never transferred the deed. I just helped my brother until he got on his feet. That never happened. I walked to the door with someone next to me. Maverick Whitaker. Tegan's first husband. A man she financially destroyed. Gage opened the door. Palmer, what are you doing here? I walked right past him. Tegan looked up from the couch, face draining of color. Maverick closed the door behind us. Mav. Her voice cracked. Hey, Tegan. Gage stared in confusion. Maverick placed a folder on the table. Bankruptcy papers. Court records. Old text. Gage's hand shook as he read. I placed the house deed on top. The house is mine. The mortgage is mine. The insurance is mine. Support ends tonight. You have 30 days to move out. Tegan exploded. You wouldn't dare. Autopay has already been turned off, I said. Gage looked destroyed. You're throwing your own brother out? No, I'm ending the theft. Tegan screamed accusations, manipulation, begging, threats. Nothing worked. I walked to the door. 30 days. As I stepped outside, I heard her scream. This isn't over. And for once, I believed her. Ha! Chapter 4, The Aftermath. 57 missed calls. 219 messages. Group chat chaos. Instagram stories accusing me of betrayal. I ignored everything. Monday morning, 8:14 a.m., I sent the official legal eviction and termination of support notice. Wells Fargo followed with a fraud demand letter threatening prosecution. By noon, my family finally understood what Tegan really was. And what I really am, not the joke, not the disappointment, not the quiet embarrassment. I'm the storm they never saw coming, ending. To everyone who has ever been underestimated, to everyone treated like the weak one, to everyone who watched family clap when you were hurt, your silence is not weakness. Your success is not accidental. Your boundaries are not cruelty. One day they will understand who you really are, and that day changes everything. My name is Palmer Whitlock, and I don't beg to be accepted. I teach people what loss feels like. That night, even the cold air at the station felt unusually heavy, as if the wind itself was waiting for the truth to break. I walked to a bench in the far corner and sat down. My hand was still on my cheek, where her fingers had left a burning mark. People kept passing by. But one face wouldn't leave my mind. My sister. She didn't just slap me. She shattered years of trust, respect, and every bond I believed we shared. But the question that echoed louder than the slap was, why did she do it? I stared into the dark sky, trying to breathe, when my phone screen lit up. A message from an unknown number. The text read, that was only the beginning. The real story starts now. My hands trembled. Who was this? How did they know what happened at the airport? Then I noticed there was a photo attached. I opened it, and the air froze in my lungs. It was an old family photo, everyone smiling, but someone had drawn a red circle and a big red cross over one face. Mine. And below it, a line written in bold. You were never part of this family. My heartbeat thundered in my ears. Who sent this? And why now, after all these years? One thing became clear in that moment. This wasn't about a slap. This was about something much bigger, deeper, and far more dangerous. I stood up and walked straight toward the exit. A taxi stopped in front of me. The driver leaned out and asked, "Where to, sir?" I looked him straight in the eyes and said quietly, "Take me home. I'm going back, but not as a guest. I'm going back for the truth." The station lights faded behind us, and inside my chest one voice kept echoing, "Tonight changes everything." The taxi stopped in front of my house. The lights inside were on, even though it was almost midnight. It felt strange, as if someone was waiting. I took a deep breath and walked toward the door. Before I could knock, it slowly opened by itself. My mother stood there, her eyes red, like she had been crying for hours. Behind her, my sister and the rest of the family sat in absolute silence, their faces tense, almost scared. No one spoke. The silence felt heavy enough to crush bones. Finally, my sister stood up. Her voice was low, shaky, but sharp. "You weren't supposed to come back." I clenched my fists. "All I want is the truth." "Why that message? Why the photo? Why the slap?" She laughed, but it was the kind of laugh that hides pain. "Because you're not who you think you are." My heartbeat stopped for a second. My mother walked toward me, tears rolling down her face. "We wanted to protect you. We never wanted you to find out like this." I took a step back. My chest tightened. "Find out what?" My mother's voice cracked as she spoke. "You're not our son. We found you, abandoned, outside a hospital 28 years ago." The room spun. Everything inside me shattered at once. My sister whispered, "We tried to tell you, but the truth would have destroyed everything." I felt a burning behind my eyes. Anger, heartbreak, betrayal, all at once. "So the slap, the humiliation, that was your way of protecting me?" No one answered. I looked at all of them, faces I once called family, now strangers. And in that moment, something inside me changed forever. I wiped my tears, stood straight, and said, "I may not be your blood, but I'm more human than all of you." A final message notification chimed on my phone. Same unknown number. It said, "Now you know. The rest of the story, you must finish alone." I looked at the screen, then back at the door. Without another word, I turned around and walked out of the house, leaving everything behind. The gate closed behind me with a loud metallic thud, like the final chapter of a book. And as I stepped into the dark road, I whispered to myself, "This is not the end. This is where I begin." The storm outside felt like it had been waiting for this night. Lightning splintered the sky, flashing against the cracked window of the attic. And for a second I saw it again. That same figure, standing behind me. But this time it wasn't a shadow. It was a face. Pale, sad, and identical to mine. I stumbled backward, my breath breaking in my chest, as if the house's air had turned to ice. The figure didn't move. It simply watched me with hollow eyes, filled with something that wasn't anger, but grief. Why do you look like me?" I whispered. The figure lifted a trembling hand, pointing toward the old trunk, the one I wasn't supposed to touch, the one my family kept locked for 23 years. My heartbeat pounded so loud I couldn't hear the storm anymore, only the sound of the key, the same rusted key my grandfather once told me to keep safe. Clicking inside the lock, the lid opened with a groan that sounded almost alive. Inside there was no gold, no dusty documents, not even old photographs. There was only a single baby blanket folded neatly. Soft yellow, frayed edges. My throat tightened, because stitched into the corner in faded thread was a name I had never spoken, never heard, never known, yet somehow felt connected to in the deepest part of my bones. Ilara. I touched the blanket, and the attic floor trembled. The figure stepped closer, its voice barely a breath. "You were supposed to find me sooner." The lights flickered, the air thickened, and suddenly, shouts echoed from downstairs. My mother, my brother, running, panicked. The house itself seemed to wake up, groaning as if something inside its walls had been waiting decades to break free. I grabbed the blanket and rushed down the stairs, but froze halfway. Because my family wasn't calling for me. They were calling my name, yes, but not the one I knew. They were calling, "Ilara, Ilara, don't go near it." My entire world stopped. Why were they calling that name? Why did they sound afraid? Why did they act like they knew it? Knew her. Lightning struck again, and standing at the bottom of the staircase was my grandfather. But he'd been dead for 12 years. He lifted his hand slowly, pointing at the blanket, and in a voice that seemed to echo from every wall of the house, he spoke, "Child, you were never meant to live this life alone. But the truth will destroy what's left of this family." He looked at me with eyes full of warnings and regret. "Are you ready for what you really are?" The storm went silent. The attic door slammed shut by itself. And behind me, the figure that looked like me whispered, "Sister, please finish this." Silence. a kind of silence that doesn't feel empty, but heavy, like the walls were holding their breath. My grandfather's ghost stood in front of me, his eyes fixed on the blanket in my hands. Behind me, the figure, my mirror, my shadow, my unanswered question, waited. And downstairs my family whispered a name I never knew was mine. Elara. Tell me, I said, my voice trembling. Tell me who I am. My grandfather's face tightened with pain, not fear, but sorrow. You were born a twin, he said. A pair, inseparable even before birth. My breath froze. Twin. He pointed toward the figure behind me. She wasn't supposed to die, he continued. But the night you were born, the storm flooded the old wing of the house. The doctor couldn't save both of you. My chest burned. My throat tightened. I turned slowly toward the ghostly figure, the girl with my face. I died? She whispered. Or they thought I did. Lightning rattled the window. My grandfather nodded slowly. You weren't dead, Elara, only silent, only cold. Your mother panicked. She thought she lost you. But when you took a breath, finally, she convinced herself you were her only child. He paused. And the family decided to bury the truth instead. My real name, my identity, my connection, buried, along with my sister. But why hide her? I asked. My voice cracked open. Why bury her memory? Why pretend she never existed? My grandfather's expression darkened. Because this family cannot bear its shame. The air shifted, the ghost sister's presence tightening around us like a cold fog. He stepped closer, lowering his voice. There was someone who could have saved her that night. Someone who ignored the cries. Someone who walked away. I felt cold under my skin. Who? I whispered. A figure stepped out from the shadows at the bottom of the stairs. My mother, her face pale, eyes swollen with something that wasn't just fear. It was guilt. And behind her, my brother. He looked like he had known this truth for years. My mother spoke first. Your sister wasn't supposed to survive. We didn't. We didn't want the shame of a scandal. Your father, he refused to claim both of you. He said one mistake was enough. My ghost sister trembled. A chill swept through the room, so sharp it felt like the house itself shivered. You let them bury me, the ghost whispered. Her voice cracked like broken glass. You let me freeze while my sister lived. My mother fell to her knees, sobbing uncontrollably. I thought you were gone, she whispered. I told myself it was mercy. I told myself it was fate, but I was weak. And I let everyone believe what made life easy. My ghost sister looked at me, really looked at me. Not with anger, with release. You kept my name alive, she said softly. Even without knowing it, you came here. You found the blanket. You let me speak. She stepped closer, placing a cold, weightless hand over my heart. You lived for both of us. A single tear slid down her translucent cheek. She smiled, a small, fragile thing. The storm outside softened for the first time in hours. Then she whispered, Thank you, sister. Her form flickered, dimmed, softened like morning fog. And with a gentle breath, she disappeared. The light steadied. The house exhaled. The air warmed. And for the first time in 23 years, I felt whole. My grandfather's ghost faded next, leaving behind only a whisper. Live your truth, child. Both of you deserve peace. My mother sobbed quietly. My brother stared at the floor, unable to meet my eyes. I held the blanket, her blanket close to my chest. And I spoke the name that was once buried. Elara. Not as a question, not as a secret, but as a promise. Promise that the truth would never be buried again.